Hi, good evening, everyone. So we are here with Black Tennis Mentors UK, but as you can see, we are not in the UK. So we have traveled all the way to a place near and dear to me, and that is my homeland, Ghana. While here, I was able to reach out to .Naa Shika, who actually is the founder of Ace Tennis Academy.
Yep. Hi,
hello to the people there.
Hi.
Oh, I haven't even said. So as you guys know, my name is Bee, and again, just the co-founder of the Black Tennis Mentors UK. So, tell us about Ace Tennis Academy. When did it start?
So, I think that I can never tell a story without telling a little bit about my story. So, I was a professional tennis player, and I got to the point where it almost felt like my career was coming to an end. And I was in between careers, and I had to decide what I wanted my life to look like. And the first thing that came to mind was, how do I create a space or an opportunity for kids to experience what I experience with kids? And then hopefully I can make sure that I can create more opportunities for them to have better career paths than I did. So I said to myself, why not set up a tennis academy? And it's one of those things that when you're growing up, you actually think of and you dream of. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you just want to do something in the sports that you love. So I found this, my grandpa used to play on this court that literally had so many cracks that it literally looks like a gutter. Like a gutter, like an actual gutter. I'm telling you, like, sorry. We laugh at ourselves and we don't call it cracks, we call it gutter. And I remember how it was so, like, you can't even tell the color of the court. It's supposed to be green, but you can't tell. That's how much, like, it is worded away. And I saw it, and for some reason, I just felt like there is life here. We just can see it, but we can bring life here. And I started. And I remember how I went to like the neighboring tennis court, and I met my very first coach, who is now one of my head, like in fact, he's my head coach. And I remember how I met him, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm starting something. And I know him from way back when he was really young. So I was like, listen, I want to work with you. Come work with me. Come work with me. I'm going to teach you a lot. And he goes to see the plays. I remember how we brought in our first balls and we didn't have any single clients until we got our first clients. And I was like, oh my God. And we were so happy. You can imagine that. That was quite a journey, honestly.
Wow. Wow. I want to go back a bit. You said you wanted to give what you didn't have growing up. So what was your early life tennis experience?
Ooh, you're taking me way back, like, girl.
That's what we're here for.
I know, right?
That's what we're here for.
It's like, so I started playing. So I've been playing for like, I always try not to say the number so that people don't start calculating my age, but I think I've been playing for like almost 24 years. And back then, my dad used to play tennis, and he would go to the tennis court and he would invite me to come and pick balls. You know, just be a ball girl. And usually I never pick any ball. Like, I don't even remember ever touching one ball. But something interesting happened. At home, we have a hitting wall where he plays against the wall, and like he would always jog around the house before, you know, he plays. And one day as he was jogging, I just go there, pick up his racket, and then I started hitting against the wall. I had never touched the racket before, never been trained, nothing. But guess what? I did consistent hits, and he was so shocked. He was like, how are you able to do that? Like,
is it visual learning?
You know,
like, how did you?
He was so, I don't even know how I did it, honestly. And he was so shocked. He was like, you're going to play tennis. But it was a motivating factor. Then Venus Williams was like the big story. Black girl on the screen. It made it believable. So I think it was just perfect timing when I had interest, and then Venus was there, and then my dad was like, oh, I'm seeing another black girl on TV. Simply means my black girl coming from here can do something. And my whole family started learning how to play tennis. We became like literally a tennis family. Like everybody in my family plays, and everybody played a role in bringing me up as a player.
Can I just dive into that? How many of you are there?
That's a big question. So I have lots of siblings. From my mom and dad's side, I have, it's just two of us, which is my sister. But I think I may have like about 17 siblings.
Okay.
That is why I
This is Ghana, everyone.
Like literally, that's where I.
This is fine.
You know, right? Yeah. So maybe, give and take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your sister play?
Everybody in my family plays.
Did she play to?
No. So my sister can really play. But
Senior?
No. But she can play. She can literally hit. She can like rally. She has very good strokes, but she did not compete. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Okay. Is she older or younger than you?
I'm the last born.
Okay, maybe that's why you took on more interest. You're probably younger, probably.
I think so. Maybe. Interestingly enough, I think that all my siblings wanted to play and they were quite serious about it, but I was the first person who showed interest, and then that's how come the whole family got on board. So I think that I took a very personal, likeness to the game, and everybody could see in the way I played.
What do you think tennis has taught you?
Oh my God, a lot. Massive, like a lot. Like, first of all, let's talk about discipline. Like, I see my life now and I set goals and I stick to the goals and I know how to wake up and do the work and get there. I don't find myself being lazy at any point in my life. It's actually taught me to be very resilient for a start. And it's interesting that for someone who has always been a sports girl playing sports, I found myself in a position where for the first time I experienced firsthand what sports can do for your mental health, because I found myself in a place I didn't expect to find myself there, and I was in this space where my life almost changed in a minute, and health-wise and everything-wise, like it was so different, and the only thing I could hold on to then was playing tennis, and that's how come I actually got my life back. So it changed my perspective on what sports really means, and in fact the social interaction that it gives you and the kind of peace of mind that it gives you, that honestly I don't find any other activities outside sports to be able to give you this kind of like benefits. So for me, I'll say that sports has reshaped my life, and I always wondered what my life would look like if I hadn't found tennis and found an interest and set up this academy, have this love for sports. Like, I still feel like most of the times when I go on the tennis court, I still feel like that little girl who fell in love with the sport. I still just see myself as that person. And I think the most beautiful part is that it keeps me feeling cheerful, pretty young, and it gives my life a meaning.
Wow.
And so much fulfillment.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
So do you think the little girl that, was picking up the racket, hitting the ball consistently, do you think she'd be shocked to know you have a tennis academy?
I think she would be shocked to how much I've grown personally. That's number one. I think she would be so proud of the journey I've made and the sacrifices I've made to get to where I am now. I don't think that, interestingly enough, I don't think that she expected some of the hurdles and obstacles that I faced in life. So I think she would definitely clap and be like, I didn't even think that you would face this and be able to make, go through them because of the discipline you had from, day one. So I think she'd be pretty proud.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that little girl develop into the coach you are today? Did you do qualifications?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what steps did you take from, I guess, turning away from becoming a professional?
So interestingly enough, I'll tell you a little backstory. There was a point in my life where I wanted to play WTAs, and obviously to travel you needed money, and I wasn't getting sponsorship. So guess what I did? I realized that all my male counterparts were coaching on the side whilst training as players, and they were saving up their monies to travel for tournaments. And I always wondered, like, nobody ever asked me to coach them. And I was like, oh, why? Is it because I'm female? So it's like, I went to one of my friends and I was like, how can I do some? The thing that you people are doing and making money, it was like, oh, the girls usually don't do this. I was like, what do you mean the girls don't do this? I have to do this. So again, I started doing the same thing that they were doing, coaching on the side. Then we started saving like those monies, and then we started traveling. Like I started traveling, and I remember, I think my very first trip, I think 80% of the money I traveled with was something that I saved through coaching whilst I was playing. So I was so happy. And obviously, the first time I found myself in Europe, we were like, oh, Masa, like, literally, you're a black girl. You showed up in Europe. You have something. You have a skill, and you know that you have a tight budget. So when the opportunity presents itself, and you can coach someone or play with someone, like be a hitter for someone and make a few bucks, like we jump on it. So I think that is what actually got me into doing, like, providing that service for money. And obviously, when it came to the point where, honestly, I love the game so much. So I love learning the game. Like, I love the technical part of it. I'll sit down like hours and hours watching videos, learning from videos. Like, one of the videos that I learned from extensively was Nick Bollettieri. IMG Academy. Yes.
I played there.
I used to have all his coaching videos, like, so much.
It's amazing.
It was on repeat in the house the whole day, like the whole week. So I was so familiar. I could literally rhyme like the whole everything for you. So I think that those things exposed me to the technicality of the game, and that's where I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to, and also because of the experience I had in Europe, I felt like, you know what, I think that I can do something pretty beautiful with what I have, especially being a female. And with the experience I have, I can tell my story through different opportunities. Like, I could do so much more with my story. So I came back down, I started coaching, and then I was like, the opportunity came where I had to do my international license. And I was like, here we go. Let's get that certificate down. Now we know we're certified. Now we know we're moving up. And that was it.
Great. So tell us more about Ace Academy as a whole. What is it? Who is it for? What are the coaches like? What are the students? What are they like? So on.
Interesting. I would like to start from, well, the academy is, we started the academy to be able to sort of provide a talent pipeline. But along the way, we realized that a lot of the kids who were coming to us, some obviously had the dream and the desire to become professional players, but the majority of the kids who came to us actually needed all the other benefits aside being a pro. So some wanted to work on their confidence, some wanted to work on their weight, their health, like all of these things. And it's interesting how those were the very first benefits or fulfillment that we felt as coaches, to see that a kid who came in and was very shy and was not, like, couldn't even interact in school, and all of a sudden they feel like some superhero walking around. Like, what are they? Come on the course and they're like, you see how this kid came to you from the beginning, and now you see how they look, how they appear. They're like the confidence alone. And those were the things that I can say that motivated my coaches and myself to actually do more. Like, get out there, do more, get out of our comfort zone, try and create an ecosystem where we are not just doing this for kids who want to do professional tennis, but we're looking at all the other kids who can benefit, whether it's health, confidence, self-development, mental health, whatever. Like, we wanted to do more for everyone. And initially, obviously, for the most part of our academy, we have kids in our foundation who are being trained for free. But we realized that sometimes when it comes to mental health, when it comes to confidence, when it comes to social interaction, all of those things, especially, and also obesity, it doesn't just affect underserved children. It affects everybody in society. So we welcome anybody and everybody who can benefit one way or the other through sports. When it comes to our coaches, from my experience, I was telling you how I saw that young boy and I asked him to come on board. And fast forward, it's beautiful how we transformed the tennis academy that was just, hiring tennis players and coaches and training them, to become better coaches, and then training their kids, to having to be in a space where I realized that, first of all, me being a female and me being present on the court alone was such a tremendous thing. It actually changed a lot about our clients and how they felt, how comfortable they felt. They felt like they had a nurturing person, and I'm very mean, by the way. I'm so disciplined and mean on the court, but they felt, they felt so comfortable bringing their kids and feeling like they have a female presence, and especially for the female, the parents who were bringing their girls. So one day I realized that we were growing. Now we have 3 branches, and I look at myself and I'm like, Shika, you can't be in all these 3 branches. You can't do that. You can't run your academy and foundation and be coaching everywhere else. So what do? I go in search of female tennis coaches in Ghana, and guess what? It leads me to a dead end. There was no one to employ. So I'm like, what do I do? And I think this again is one of the things that I really love about sports, and the confidence it gives you, and how much if you can put in your principles and discipline, you can do anything. It makes you literally believe you can do anything. I said to myself, if I can get females who have a sports background, and they don't have to have a tennis background, I believe I can train them to become beginner tennis coaches and physical instructors to actually support what we are doing. And in hand, they get employment. So again, we're contributing to job creation in the community. And trust me, the first girls we signed did not fail. They did not disappoint. They did a tremendous work. In fact, I feel like they are one of the biggest growth, the people we've seen that they've grown so much. And it's we look at them and we are like me and the coaches, we are like, this is our handiwork. You know what I mean? We look at them now and we're like, we did this. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
I can see it on your face.
Yeah.
I can see the joy and everything on your face.
Absolutely. So it gives me so much fulfillment, to be honest. You go to the tennis court and I'm wandering there, I'm not even part of it, and you see the kids are happy, the coaches are happy. It's for the first time, I see tennis players who are not just walking on the tennis courts trying to play with someone and get maybe a few bags into their pocket, but you see that they are part of something big that is impacting people's life in a structure, So for me, it's I feel so happy when I get to the tennis court and I see them working and I see them loving what they're doing, because they all love sports. They would literally tell you that if I could do sports my whole life, this is what I want to do. I don't want to work in an office. You know what I mean? And for me to be able to create an environment where they can express themselves through tennis, I'm super fulfilled, honestly.